Hey everyone! Hey. Okay, make sure I got the right buttons here. I'm like, I can't remember which button's which. Hey everyone, I'm just doing a bit of adjustment. And my lamps are always complicated. Alright. Hey, so, my art room is a disaster, but that's okay. But we're gonna give this a whirl, and I may have to do a part 2 of this video, because time is not my friend. Time is never my friend. But I'm doing a card sketch. So I got a couple things happening here. I'm doing a card sketch from our Stampin' Up! Mini team. And then I'm also doing Grogu from the Mandalorians. I made this combination of yesterday and today. But this is just a sample to kind of get the concept of making him. And yes, I did him all myself. So I'm looking at doing another one. So the hardest part of the game is doing little Grogu. So I'm going to keep Grogu in view as a guide. And then, of course, I put all my colored pencils away because that's what a kitty does when she wasn't going to intend to do a live video this morning. So I'm going to more or less pull out all the colors affiliated with my Grogu that I used. So give me a minute or two. And these are just regular pencils. I'll be honest, they're not Stampin' Up! For today because just familiarity. I know how these operate and I'm kind of working on the concept. And if you hear bang, 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 my place is under construction, which is very annoying. Holy crap. House is shaking. That's gonna bug me actually. Okay. And then one more color for my Grogu. Alright, well that was enlightening. Listening and feeling thump, 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 thump. Great. Alright, let's get going here. So, as per my usual, I gotta go to work. And I will. So I'm just kind of looking at concept. It's okay if Grogu is that size. So I'm gonna make sure I leave enough for the ears. Doesn't have to be that big, but I'm just trying to work the concept. I'm gonna go a little smaller, okay? So I did him in pieces earlier. I may or may not, I don't know. Of course, my freehand drawing isn't always great, but just more or less how I did the first one is just kind of start. But I will try to go kind of fast here. And yes, I got Stampin' Up! Official grid paper on the table. I am excited because I'm like, finally was like yesterday, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to pull it out. So as I said, I'm doing a sketch challenge from our team. And part of the challenge requires using one of the new colors that's come back. However, I don't have a lot of those colors, so I'm improvising. Of course, there goes my sheet here. Just trying to get the overall layout on here. I'm tempted to split it up again, but I think this time I'm going to try it doing in one full image. My little Grogu. I can always trim as we go, especially off the top. And then I used a different green on top. just to get a blend of a green. This probably isn't Grogu green, but it was still pretty darn good. But now that I'm doing this kind of sort of in one shot, kind of. And what I'll probably do is, once I've worked out my Grogu image to how I like it, I'll template it. Because I'm back and forth on, do I make it into a card class? Do I not? I don't know. I'm undecided. Alright, I've got that. Just gonna come back in. Get some lines happening. And then back in with the first green, just to kind of burnish a little. This time a little more solid. Alright, there's that. I think I'll come back in with the other green again, just to kind of burnish it a little more. I might have gone a little too dark, but I can still work with it. Of course, I'm spending a lot of time on the face, but that's okay. It's like when I decide, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a video this morning before I go to work. I'm like, yep. And I already told myself, don't try to get all done in one sitting in case there's a part 2 needed. That way I can regroup with myself. Alright, got that. And then one more burnishing. We're going to do it with the first color again. This time it's the burnishing. And now it's looking a lot better. I've actually been enjoying this daily, not daily, but mornings of do some crafting before I go to work. Okay, so I got that. And then I'm going to start working on the ears. That way we can get the green dealt with now. Because I already know I'm not going to make it for time. Of course, each time I do a Grogu, it looks a little differently. So there's that. So he's still going to be just as big as the original. Oh my goodness. And part of the idea is try to improve on the original. just to kind of change it up a little bit. It's gonna be big. Might help if I, ahead of time measure out my concept, but no, I gotta make it complicated. So far good. Because I've thought about doing it more differently, because my leader upline, like at the top, she did a Yoda card like a decade ago. So luckily for me, she was able to provide me with, hey, what does it look like? It looks cool. But I don't know, I just, for some reason, what spoke to me was do what I do best, which is this. Literally from scratch, color and draw my own. Alright, so we got that done. Looks kind of cool. Now, oh, I forgot a color. I forgot a color. Where's my black pencil case? Forgot the brown. Because I did brown and black for the eyes. And I had a little trick to give a little bit of that little white spark in the eye. Which I'll show you in the short. Which is cool. This is going to be a big Grogu. So far good, and I brought in a little bit of black. And then we'll do the facial features in the short. I don't know about you if you noticed, but Grogu's got like really big eyes. Just adding some of the details. There we go. Just to give it a little something. A little more black in the eyes. Then I'll go over with the brown. Alright, so far good. I want a little more black again. Alright, now, to get that little shine in the eyes, one moment, as I find what I need to find, which is being elusive right now. Where are you hiding? Oh, there she is. I got a little trick for that, which is not a great trick. So take a high quality white pencil. This is a Faber-Castell. And right away, we got that. It doesn't always work well, but it's a great little trick. See, look at that. And then, just to give it a little bit over the top, wink of Stella, give a little bit of glitter. Hey, Jenny. Just to kind of put a little glit into his little eyes. It doesn't do much, but there is a little bit of glit. The first one has it as well. Oh, thanks, Jenny. So this one, there is, can't tell, but there's a little tiny little bit of glitter in the eyes. Okay, so next, because I'm trying to move quickly here, I gotta draw the body, more or less same as what I did. But the first one I did was in pieces, but this time I'm like, I'm gonna do the whole thing. And then hopefully this turns out. So then just kind of, I gotta draw. And then just kind of more or less similar to what I did. Alright, I know it's hard to see. I know it's really, really hard to see, but the body's there. Just that way I can kind of come in lately. And start shading in. Now I can do part of it for now. And fill in as I go. Now, cutting him out is going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's still relatively okay for the size of what he is. Alright, and I had another color here that I was using to start to add some detail. Not a lot of detail. Essentially doing like the same thing that I just did in the first one. So far, and then I want to come back in, kind of give the rest of him a once over. Alright, and then I'm going to add a little bit of black. Just to kind of help oops, I kind of went outside the lines, but it's okay. Just to kind of help separate the details, because it's all kind of sort of one color so far. Kind of like so. Where black is a really useful tool when used very lightly. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to come back in with the first color. And go over some more. And yeah, work in the center some more. But by putting that little bit of black, I can see roughly where the clothing changes. Like that. And then I'm going to come back in with the other color I was using just to kind of work it in. And add a little bit of that color throughout. So there's an approximate little baby Yoda Grogu here. Approximate. So I'm kind of rushing, so it's not great. I'm going to bring in that black another moment. Yeah, bring some along the bottom. It's not, I don't think it's my best work. It's not bad, actually. Just to kind of work it in. There. Not bad. It's not, I mean, given my time constraint right now, it's actually not bad. And they're similar, although I think this one's suddenly bigger. I don't have the size figured out, but anyway. Alright, now here's the painful part. I gotta cut him. And this is gonna be a challenge. Oh, he's gonna be big too. I might have made him a little way too big here. So first things first, kind of cut the papers closer. Alright, and then here's the painful part. I gotta cut them. Okay. So I'm just gonna start with the head. Now, smaller scissors would have been ideal, but again, time constraints. I am not digging right now. But at least he's a shape that I should be able to cut. If it's like stars, like the other one, yeah, I ain't cutting them. How am I doing for time? Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Making sure I'm still with it because I gotta leave very shortly. Because really, this was the hardest part of the game here, was getting little Grogu made up. And anytime when you're cutting shapes, don't cut yourself. So I have yet to figure out if I'm going to make this into a card class. I have no idea. Because yesterday, I finally got myself to, okay, I'm going to work on Grogu. Finally. Getting there slowly. He's come along quite nicely. Yeah, it's just trying to figure out an easy way of, do we color our own Grogu? Do I make up a template? I found a template online, but I may or may not use it from someone else. I don't know. I gotta decide. I gotta work on it. That's why I decided to make today's video about Grogu. And I actually have someone in mind who loves Yoda, who I'll probably send her one of these cards for the heck of it, because I know I just mentioned yesterday, like, hey, anybody looking for a card? And she's like, last year I sent her my Yoda card, and she actually put it on her wall. Yay! More sounds outside. I think the landscapers are here too. Not only we got construction, we got landscapers. Yay! Alright, there is Yoda. Oh, not Yoda, Grogu. Not bad. I would have done him a little differently. He's a little big. The first one's better, in my opinion. Okay, anyway. So that was the fun part. So I've got this really big Grogu happening. It's bigger than I thought. Okay, so part of the quest for the Stampin' Up! Team Challenge is, it wants me to use one one of the new colors that's come back. So I'm just gonna quickly jump to another screen and peek at the colors list. And I think there's only one color I can use, which is Misty Moonlight, which I have here. It's in this pack. Yeah, Misty Moonlight. These are older packs of Stampin' Up! Paper. So I have some here and there. So Misty Moonlight is technically that color. So I'm just going to grab both the sheets and just kind of ponder on it, on how am I going to do this. And I definitely want a yellow, because I have idea for a yellow shortly. And then I'm following a sketch image, so I'm just going to bring that back. So I need a color to go with the Misty Moonlight, which I'm kind of between all these. In Grogu. I think I'll go with the brown. What color is the brown? It is Cinnamon Cider, which I think Cinnamon Cider, I can't remember if it's a current color or not. Okay. Anyway, we got some colors here to do the challenge, and I'm just going to move a few things around. I'm just trying to decide, because I'm following a concept. Yeah, okay. I gotta click on an image. Oh god, my eyes can't see. Alright, I gotta cut this down. I need my paper trimmer. Alright, they had, now I'm modifying to my own size for the card sketch, but they had 5.5 by 175. I'll keep the 175 because I like that. But then I'm gonna do 5.25 because my card base is 5.5. Alright, so I got that. And then the second piece, that way I can kind of see how we're laying out here. I modified it originally, so 1.25 inches, we'll do that. By, let's see, 4.5. That way I still got the Misty Moonlight happening, which is required for the sketch. And then we're going to put that guy on there. Although, positioning, I'll work on it. And then I might, you know what, I'm going to add another Misty Moonlight on here. Why not? I'm modifying here. So, five and a quarter. All right, I'm gonna start gluing shortly. Then we still gotta bring in the yellow, 'cause I have an idea for it. All right. All right, we'll keep Grogu nearby, so I know what the heck I'm doing. So I'm kind of thinking this, because I just felt like I needed something there. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my glue. And then I'm going to make sure I can see you, Jenny. Of course, I like that side of the paper too, but I have an idea for soon. You'll see. It's a good one. So no dimensionals yet, but Grogu's getting dimensionals when I get there. So I'm just going to put that in. Then Misty Moonlight it. So, according to our Stampin' Up! Team, Misty Moonlight, this color here, is a favorite. And they were so excited that this color came back. 'Cause this color had retired last year or the year before or something. And then it's back, so everybody's excited. But actually, I'm starting to warm up to it. Okay, so I got that. So I just felt, because I'm changing the design, I needed something. And I want that there. And then there. That's what we're going with. Okay. So then I'm going to glue that on. Might be a lot of Misty Moonlight happening, but I really wanted it to be seen. So just kind of there's good enough. But then, we're not done. We gotta do something with this, because I think this is cool. This color. I think it's Bumblebee. And then I have a star hole punch. So that's where we're gonna have Grogu surrounded by a bunch of stars, kind of like my original idea, which has paper attached to it suddenly. So we're gonna go with the stars. And this hole punch, I believe, is retired. But the quest for the project is have at least one of the colors that's returned or new colors. So there we go. They had a list of colors, so Misty Moonlight fits the bill. There's a little itty bitty star. So yeah, I love this hole punch. Alrighty. Okay, so I've got these stars. So before I glue everything down, I'm just gonna lay them on. Kinda sorta. And that's more or less the concept I'm going with. So different but weird. I gotta check. The hole punch is retired. I gotta check to see if it's still available. I can do a quick peek right now. Because I bought it just before the switch over to the last catalog. It's the Starlit Hole Punch, I think it's called. Might help if I can stamp in up. I'll tell you in a moment. Because I bought it specifically for trying to figure out my Star Wars concept this month. Yeah, no, Starlet's gone. It is retired. It is gone. I don't think it's coming back. Anyway, so then dimensionals. So I'm currently using littles because I'm kind of sort of out. As in, I have more of the bigger dimensionals. I just have to get around to opening up the packages. But I thought for a little while I'm going to use some of the minis. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the items I own are retired items, like the paper. I tend to buy later on when it's on clearance. Even my order I just got this week, some of it was clearance items again, because I have a thing for clearance. Alright, so far good. I'm going to put a piece in the middle for little Grogu. Alright, I'm going to glue him down first, then I can figure out the stars and where they're going exactly. And I don't have a sentiment yet, but I don't know if I'll do one or not. That might be to be determined. There we go. There's our Grogu. And start gluing the little stars. And the advantage of using little dimensionals and being able to cut the borders is I can use them to reshape. What? That one's still a little too big. Ooh. Now, very carefully. There we got one. I'm just going to step that down carefully because I'll need that piece. Oh, I didn't even get that on centered. Alright, there. We'll do this next smallest for that little piece I still have on the scissors. But even though items are retired, they're still great items. It's going to need a sentiment. I can just feel it. and I have ideas for one, and I don't have time to do one today because I did not soak an ink pad, like not ink pad, the sponge, because I was intending to be like a non-stamping thing, but I think I'm still gonna do one. I got something in mind. But yeah, with dimensionals, nothing goes to waste. And then for the little itty bitty star, I'm going to use a glue dot because it is tiny. Where's my glue dots? They're here somewhere. Looking for my stick. We're almost done. Kind of. I'm gonna add a sentiment. It needs a sentiment. I just haven't decided how I'm doing it yet. Okay, so I just put a glue dot in a little starsy, because it is the tiniest little star ever. Of course, getting the cap off is gonna be a challenge. Oh, I got it. And then I'm just gonna try to pick it up and just stick it on somewhere. Good enough. Alright, now, I keep saying it needs a sentiment. I just feel like it needs something. Now, I don't know, Jenny, or if anybody else who's watching, or if anybody else who's watching anywhere else, has the new paper pumpkin kit. I'm digging for mine, because I wasn't intending to jump in it right now. But the paper pumpkin kit has one of the new color ink colors, which is copper clay, which ironically is going to work with the cinnamon cider that was planned somewhat by design. And there's something about these stamps, and the cheers to another adventure is speaking to me. So I'm going to need a piece of paper. I'm just going to stamp on here, and I'm going to shape it down after to what I want it to be. Problem is, my Grogu is lower than I would like him to be. I wonder if I can quickly move him. Yes, they're not fully sealed in here. Come on. I'm going to make him a little higher. I don't advise doing this unless you really know what you're doing. Alright, let's put him a little higher. That way, we got space for the sentiment tag to go down here. Okay. Alright. Cheers to another adventure. And then I've got copper clay here, which will work really well. Actually, I haven't used this stamp yet. There we go. Now I'm going to give this a wipe somewhere because I don't have. I was not prepared to do this right now. Okay, I somewhat was able to clean it. There. Because my sponge is almost solid, but it'll still work. Okay, so I got that. Now I got to shape that piece down a little better. By the way, if you have the new paper pumpkin kit, it is beautiful. Come on. Alright, because I gotta wrap this up very, very shortly. Okay, move off to the side. I need my trimmer. And then I'm finally almost done. Okay, I'm gonna use the straight side. And then just more or less trim it down to the shape of the tag. There we go. It's almost good. It's not exactly fully straight, but it's good enough. And then, more or less, there. That actually looks really good. So, if I'm focused, seal on here, dimensional there. And my seal is starting to give me grief again. Alright, there's the seal. And then dimensionals on the end, on this side, and we should be good. And there we go. There. That looks good. It's not the original concept for the sketch challenge I was doing, but it looks really, really good. There we go. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta go to work. I don't want to go to work. I'd rather like stay home and make more of this. Like, you know, do some more. But yeah. So the challenge was include 2 of the colors that either are new or returning. Or no, one of the colors actually. I used 2. I used the Misty Moonlight and then the Copper Clay. So that worked well. And then kind of follow the layout and then really change it up. Alrighty. Thanks everyone. Feel free to have fun. And any questions, let me know. If you love this, if you want to know how I made it, I can try to help you out. But yeah, I gotta figure out the concept of him, how to make him easy to replicate. Alright everyone, bye for now.